Hey everybody, how's it going? So thanks for coming along to this final episode of Tinyani Gardens here in Planet Zoo, and this is what we've got so far. What an amazing mini-series this has been. Thank you so much for all of your support. So if you've missed any of the episodes, you can go back and watch them, but you'll notice that there is a massive gap at the back and it's time to finish this project. We need to work on the seals, we need to move the reptile house, we need to do the final touching up around the outside. So I reckon let's just get straight on with it. So there's nothing quite like a major change to start the episode, is there? Look, we've got gardens and the reptile house has moved. I mean, it's a massive change to the sightline. It's just looking so good. And this is the beginning of the end of the build and it's weird. It feels really weird. So I've started in this area down here where I wanted a more wetlands feel to it. Because, of course, you've got the two water bodies side by side. So this feels like it would be a natural wetland area. So I've started to incorporate all of the different grasses into the mix. So we've got elephant grass. We've got the two reed types in there just to give it this lush feeling, and almost like you're adventuring through that to get to the main gardens and then around to the reptile house and the pavilion and so on and so forth. So I've also put some benches down so that you can have a chill out. It's actually, if you ever watch aging myself, ever watch the film Field of Dreams, it's a little bit like the cornfield in that. Yeah, okay, that's weird. Let's move on swiftly. So anyway, we're going to come across to the gardens now, and guys, I make no apologies for this and this being a carbon copy of each other, these being a copy of each other, and these being a copy of each other. Just to let you know, 11 hours worth of gameplay, 156 game crashes. It got to a point where I was actually having to save every two path placements. That's just the nature of the beast, I'm afraid. That's just how Planet Zoo works. It's so balked that I fought through it. If I'm honest, if I wasn't building a series, I would have stopped playing the game. So anyway, the gardens itself are not meant to be historic. They're not meant to have any significance to the area. They're just supposed to be this beautiful garden area, lots of colour, and I've used all of the flowers that I've used elsewhere around Tinyani, around the lake. So all of the ones that are sort of like down this area, and so the idea is to bring all of that into this area here, and it gives the whole area a feel, like a common feel to it. Then of course you've just got some fountains and stuff that are in the middle, and then I just wanted to put a pad. So these are all stone and gravel pathways, right? And I just wanted to have a pad. I think I need to change the placement of this actually. It doesn't look quite on centre, does it? Now I'm sort of looking at it. I don't know. It is because it's snapped to position. Anyway, I'll fix that. It's fine. And then we've got this bit here. So you'll probably recognise this from Trentham Gardens if you've been Googling it and stuff. It's just the long pathway that leads down to the lake. Feels like a bit of a cliche to have lions that are guarding the guarding the lake. And then I just wanted an elephant statue in the middle. I wanted the idea of two beasts passing in the night at the crossroads. And so that's what I wanted to do. That's what I wanted to do here. But I'm really pleased actually with how these flower beds turned out. Even though, as I said, they are carbon copies of each other because I just couldn't do with the game crashes. The actual colours and the textures in there feel like a proper garden. Now, I'll make no excuses. I don't know what I'm doing with flowers. Unlike roller coasters and theme parks and whatever, I can tell you where everything needs to go there. Flowers, I haven't got a clue. I just went for the colours and the textures. It's close enough. Oh, and a sausage tree, because I love a good sausage. So we're going to move on to this bit then. And yeah, of course, we've got the two flower beds here. Now, I wanted to keep the grass as well. There would be quite a lot of pristine and well-kept grass that's in this area. So that's kind of what we're going for. And I wanted this idea of having to walk through the gardens to get to where you needed to go over to the seals. Now, you'll be no surprise. There's no change to the seals. Something's going to come here. I've decided that I'm going to put something in here. The seals are going to be here. And then there's going to be a shared common services area here, which then also makes the road that comes around this way to the back also make sense. So that's going to be towards the end of the episode. But this is another massive, massive change. Slithers and scales. I mean, look. I'm really pleased with how this has turned out. Actually, it's sitting quite nicely on the sight line. It complements the pavilion quite nicely. I have used the front end of the pavilion and of course the colours and the roof. So it's the same building style, but it's a very different building. And so I also wanted to have a seating area and a respite area at the top here. And yeah, of course you're going to exit via the gift shop. Of course that's going to happen. This one's a bit more fleshed out and kitted out than the pavilion is, though. I quite like how this is turned out, and you can go into the reptile house either left or right, and it would make sense in pandemic times that it would be a circle, right? So you'd come in this way and you'd exit the other side. But anyway, as we walk in here, I've just put loads of foliage down. As I said, I don't really know what I'm doing with foliage. I've just gone with what looks good, plausible reality, and it's like, this is the type of thing that Tinyani Gardens and Trentham Gardens would do. There wouldn't necessarily be any homage to the actual species and everything that are in here, or the areas of the world that they come from. It would just be kitted out to make it look like they come from a different world, right? So that's what I've done here. All the rocks and all the foliage and everything. I quite like it, actually. It's all right. It's turned out all right. The animals are grouped by what I would consider types. So all of the snakes are together, the spiders are together, the bugs are together, the scorpions are together, the frogs are together, so on and so forth, right? So that's all I've done. I haven't done it by country. I've done it by animal type. So anyway, this is supposed to be a bit more deserty. It's not. It's very green. But it's supposed to be more deserty, and of course there's yellow lighting. And then we come into this way where it becomes more foresty. And so this is where you're going to find all of your frogs and all of your stuff like that. I don't actually know what we've got. Frogs, beetles and stuff coming on in here. But again, I've just carried on the idea of having the rocks and just some decoration and whatever. I've made particular attention, by the way, or paid particular attention to the back of house. So there is room behind here for the staff to actually get behind if this was real, because they would access and service the exhibits from behind, right? So that's what I've done here. I've made sure that they're all accessible in inverted commas, real life. And then we're going to carry on walking through here, and then you can go two ways. You can either come around this central island of iguanas and lizards, I think, or you can come down this way and you can start looking at spiders. This bit I hated doing this bit, but I've tried to give it a bit more of a jungle feel down here, because of course this is where you're going to find all of this sort of stuff. You know, think of the Amazon and whatever. And yeah, then we come around this way to more creepy crawlies, and then we just come back around this way into, I think these are, what are these? Them. I have no idea, guys. I've got absolutely no idea. I'm not even gonna pretend. I'm not even gonna make it out like I know what I'm talking about. And then we come in this way to these guys, and then we come this way to these guys. And so, like I say, I've tried to marry up the feeling of the tanks with the feeling of the area, but it's not, let's be honest. We're just going, as I said, for plausible reality rather than anything else. So this is how it looks from this side then. So from the lakeside, it just sits so nicely on the sight line. I'm really pleased with how it sits. Like, before I put all of the foliage in, it felt like it was a bit of a sore thumb, but it actually sits quite nicely. And then if you come down to this way from the lake with the pavilion, and ignore the back, that's coming in the last bit of the episode when I bring it all together. But yeah, this looks just so good. I'm just loving it. Right, so I need to go and finish the seals, so I'll be back in a moment. Alright, so I hope you're ready for this, because it wouldn't be the penultimate update of the final episode without big things are coming. But first, we need to be completely underwhelmed by the seal exhibit. Look, it's a bit crap. But I kind of figured that this would actually be how it would be, this stark stone wall fence and this really shoddy attempt at some kind of fake rock work to make the seals happy in an environment that isn't even remotely close to the environment that they would live in, right? That's kind of what we're going for here. Now, there's a couple of functional stuff as well that I've actually ended up doing with this one, in all seriousness. So, seals do like their privacy. They get stressed very, very easily. So what I've done is I've actually created this rockwork wall behind so that they can actually hide from the people, and that works. I've also done the same here. So we've got a couple of entrances where the staff area and whatever are, as you can see. And then this is almost like a corridor, and the seals can hide in there. So there's a couple of food trays, and there's a couple of water things in here somewhere. But then you've also got the privacy screens here. So that's to stop people from looking in and stuff. And I've actually noticed this. We do this at Chessington World of Adventures with our sea lions. So it's a technique that I know. Look at them. They're just like slithery little things, but they're so cute. They're like fish dogs. Look at them, like sea doggos. They're so cool. So yeah, and then I've also put in like their pontoon, just to give them somewhere to sleep. And then I've had to put some extra bits in because of the traversable area. When you put rocks in and stuff, it kind of ruins everything. And yes, the deep sea diving is still balked, but you know, is what it is. Can't change it, so that we just let them swim, and then they end up back at the new entrance anyway, so it's fine. Right, so that's kind of what we've gone for here. I've gone for flat flat corrugated iron roofing as well, a really cheap shack style roofing. We're sparing no expense with this, because the donations and stuff will be coming in anyway, right? So they wouldn't have much money to spend anyway, so that's what we're doing here. And now we have some new additions to show you. So you've probably already seen that there's something over on the right here, and that's because we have tortoises. So I've put the Aldabras and the Galapagos in here at the same time. They live together in perfect harmony because they're the same species anyway. They seem to be pretty happy. They do what they need to do. Haven't had any babies yet because I've turned off breeding, but we know that in game they breed like anything, right? So same principle in here. We've got the front stage almost bit where they could feed and find water and all that sort of stuff, but there's a private area out the back so that they can escape from all of the people and their prying eyes if they get too stressed. And then of course they've got their hard shelter in here for them to come and sleep if they want to come and do that. So I just need to kit out and everything, some backstage stuff in here. This is more functional than anything else, but I just wanted this to sort of complete it because it's a bit of a waterborne aqua area. If we had other stuff, like I thought about putting penguins in and putting the penguins in here, but I've actually decided against it. No penguins. I really love the penguins in game. In fact, I love penguins in real life, but I've just decided against it because otherwise we're getting too close to this being a zoo now, right? And I'm going to show you something else in a minute that's also going to contradict this idea of having roaming animals. So, but I still want to maintain that this is a park where you would have free roaming animals and there's only a couple of very choice exhibits. And so Trentham Gardens has this massive thing where you can go and walk with monkeys. And you can literally go in and you can walk around the forest and the monkeys are around you and they'll come up and interact with you and they'll play with you and all sorts. It's really cool. It's an awesome experience. But our monkeys in game don't allow the people to go into the exhibits. So what's the closest we're going to get to a monkey to be able to replicate that experience? Meerkats. So we've got meerkats. Now, I don't know where they are. There's 30 of them in here somewhere. And an aardvark. We've got an aardvark as well because in game they benefit. So the meerkats benefit. Oh, there's one. The meerkats benefit from having aardvarks in the pen. So we've got two aardvarks. We've got a male and a female. They formed a pair, and he's just happy. He's loving life. He's like, yeah, okay, whatever. So there's our meerkat. There's one of them. They look like little rats, don't they? They're so funny. Kudos actually to the game. Like, I keep saying like the game plays like trash, and it does, but it looks beautiful. I mean, these meerkats are just stunning. I've been watching them, and they do everything you'd expect a meerkat to do. Right? They sit perched up and they formed a pack. So these guys back here, they are all part of a pack. So they're acting like a pack. They go and play with each other. They go and run through tunnels and play with this ball and all sorts. It's really cool. So the exhibit itself, I wanted this to feel, it needs a bit of touching up by the way, but I wanted it to feel like it would be what they call a second gate. It's where you have to pay to go in and find entry, or go in and get entry. And so that's what I'm doing here. These would be the ticket offices, and I've just doubled them up as info kiosks so you could do adoptions and buy umbrellas and stuff. And then you'd have these as the gates, and they're actually the habitat gates. And then you come into what is essentially the Meerkat playground. Now, they don't actually climb, but I have included things for them to climb on because I just thought, why not? It's just fun to have in game. They do. They kind of get up to here, but they can't climb any further because they're not actual climbing animals. But I wanted this idea of, as I said, of being a bit of a playground. So it's having a walk around where you can physically walk around a bit of a private indoor park. Well, it's not indoors, is it? But it's inside this... perimeter fence is what I mean, but you can walk around and you can sort of chill out. You can come and have some lunch, and you can have a meerkat that's running around with you. They are actually quite comfortable being around people, like the ones at Chessington. You can go and feed and stuff. It's actually quite cool. So I had the picnic area in the front here, and then we've just got the whole Aardvark Meerkat playground in the middle here. So we've got foraging pits, and we've got enrichment items, we've got climbing things, and all of that sort of stuff, like the tunnels that they run through. I'm hoping at one point I'm going to have to catch one of the animals running through the tunnels because I love it. It's so good. And then up the top here we've just got the same. Just this idea of having all of the toys and stuff out. That's on the move. Where's that moving from? It's a ghost. The ghost has pushed it because there's literally nothing, right? There's no meerkats around. Anyway, whatever. Then I've just put foliage around. Now, I know that in-game this isn't the correct foliage to have with the meerkats and stuff, but it's fine. It's what it is. Let's deal with it. And then I've also put in here the info point. So this would be where you'd have presentations and stuff about the meerkats. So I've actually made it functional by putting in the two habitat boards, but these would show videos of the meerkats and the aardvark, so you can see... like you can learn about them from this point. And then I just put some benches and stuff down for them to sit. They are functional. They're real benches that live in game. And they've also got these. Oh no, they haven't. I thought they were the ones with the holes in, and the meerkats go through them as you're watching the video. And then over here, I just put in for some facilities. So we have our gift shop. So obviously you're going to have to go and buy as much merchandise from a meerkat stuff as you can. So I just kitted it out in here just as a gift shop, like as I have done with all of the others. And then of course you're going to be able to grab some food. So in here we've got hot dogs, we've got ice cream, and I think this is probably soda. And then an exit out the back there, so that you can go out into the back of house. And then I've just put some seats and stuff in here. So this is nice and simple. I don't really want to do much else with this because it's one of the functional ones rather than decorated ones. So it just needs to look its part. And then you've got over this side bedtime for the meerkats and for the aardvark. So when it rains, when it snows, and when they come to rest and get away from people, they actually come inside here. So this is what we're doing. It's almost like a stable for them, so you can come in and you can actually see them whilst they're resting and doing their thing. Like there they are, look, just loving life. I don't know if you're going to be able to see them on the video because the YouTube encoding fights with the graphics, doesn't it? So I'm hoping that you're with my really awful camera work that you can see them. And there they are. They're just chilling out inside here, and then obviously they come and get fed and they play with the balls and stuff. So there's enrichment and whatever in here, so they don't actually have to go outside if it's raining or snowing. They can stay in here, so they're loving it. Look at them, bless. And then they've got a private area as well, so if they do get stressed they can hide away from people, and this is the area that they can come to. So of course that means then this backstage area has now expanded slightly, so this is now finished in terms of the facilities and everything that I want up here. I now just need to work on the outside, so I need to bring this road up to here. I need to finish off all of this stuff. There's some touching up that I need to do. I've forgotten to do some of the sculptures along the walks and everything along here. I need to finish off this area, and I need to decide what's going to happen with this area here. I know because of the game crashing constantly, I'm not going to finish the shops. I'm just going to leave them be. And I'm also not going to do Bergs either. I actually might pull in one of the shops from Roars and Claws from the series that I did, if you haven't seen that already. I might pull in the shop there and just put that there so it fills the space. But anyway, I'm going to carry on working because it's the final stretch. And so, with the final few clicks, this series finally did what Roars and Claws never got to do. Come to an end. Yay! Look at it. I'm so pleased with how this has turned out. It looks really, really cool from up here. And guys, just let you know that the game is now too unstable to do anything with this area at the back here, this area to the side, and I can't finish the shops. And I'm done fighting with the game. If Frontier come along with an update to make it more stable, then of course I'll come back and fill in these areas. But I'm happy with what we've got. I've achieved what I wanted to set out with this series. This view, this just looks awesome. So let's start down here. I've just dragged this in from Rules and Claws. It's nothing special. I haven't done anything with the inside. I'm leaving it as it is. But it's just the burger restaurant that sits at the front. It kind of serves a purpose for the AI though, because guests enter here and they enter here and they sort of get to this point or this point and turn around because they haven't interacted with anything in the zoo yet, so they get a little bit bored. This now means that they have something to interact with. So what we're now finding is people are coming in, they're coming to Bergs, and then they're bouncing off into the zoo. So that's good. That's serving a purpose. It does what it needs to do. I've also tidied up around here, so I've put loads and loads of foliage in, forested it out, and made sure that that's all done and dusted. So the car park is now complete, and this is how it looks from the side down here. I don't really know why I've got people walking down the road, because I thought all of my areas were staffed off. It's fine, doesn't matter, whatever. They can walk wherever the hell they want. And then I've also done round the back here too. So I've put in a real private picnic area next to the river. Of course, I've done all of the foliage along the river as well, by the way. That's all done. I've continued this path. Remember this path we left in episode 2, maybe episode 3? It's now finished. It's now done, and it comes back to the car park here. So good. It's excellent. So yeah, I've got a private little picnic area here. It's a nice little area, actually. It sort of serves its purpose in here. Next to the river. Let me just change my camera. Next to the river, you get a bit of a peek through to the gardens. It's quite a nice little spot to have some lunch, actually. And I've kept it a little bit overgrown. This would be a bit of a hidden gem because, of course, the trees that you've got over this side tend to hide that it's even there, right? So it's a bit of a hidden gem. So then we're going to come through this area here, the main shopping area, and I promise it is alive. There's just nobody around. So here we go. We're just going to walk down here. And the shopping village is a mess because of all of the stuff that's been kicked around. I've given up trying to move it back because I found that the guests actually proactively go and kick them, so it's fine. I'm just going to leave them strewn everywhere. And so yeah, this is the hub, and then you've got the chachos, you've got the shakes, and it's all coming along this way. I did originally have this restaurant as a pun. It was supposed to be restaurant, as in ant. It didn't really work out. That was in episode 2. That didn't really work out. So I've just come along and I've just corrected it because it just makes more sense than trying to explain what the pun was. Puns shouldn't need explaining, so I've just changed it back. Then we've got the Java the Hut. Then you've got the coffee shop, and then you've got Shock Shack over here. BMKs, and then of course you've got the empty units. And as I said, I can't kit them out even if I wanted to. I'm just going to leave them as they are. Then you've got the Tinyani Gardens entrance. It just looks so good, and especially now that we've got everything in the background. So I remember looking at this in episode 2 thinking, I just don't know what this is going to look like with everything in the background. It just looked really bland, but now it's quite nicely. Just move that back now. They've finished stuttering. It's just quite nicely come together, right? And I'm really pleased with it. I really am. And so just to show you the other stuff then that I've done, trees and foliage around the outside here. So that's now changed the grey seal habitat view ever so slightly. It's now got a bit more of depth to it. And you look up this way, and again, it's just got a little bit more depth with all of the trees and stuff that we've got going on. Up in the Meerkats, I have put some signs out. So we've now got Meerhem. Yeah. Because a Chacho series isn't a series without puns. So we've got Meerhem, and then we've got tickets, entrance and tickets over here. And then I've just put some extra stuff around just to give it a bit more of a playground type feeling. You can't actually see the meerkats from the top here. And I don't know where my aardvarks have gone. I can't find them. They've just they're around somewhere, I promise. He's just, or they, because there's two of them. They've just, oh, there's one. Found one. It just sat by a fence. All right, mate. All right, okay. So then I've also done around the back here as well. Just kitting it out as if it's a backstage area. So that's all cool. I need to find out where those people are coming from, though, because everything is, like, that's not connected. This isn't connected. This, oh, I bet it is. I bet it is. There's a path that runs along the back here. And in Planet Zoo, your paths don't have to be connected for guests to use it. If you've got a really small gap between them, it will just treat it as one. It was one of the early updates. I bet that's what's happening. I bet they're walking through the wall here. Okay, that's cool. I can live with that. So yeah, this is the garden. So let me just show you the view from here now that everything is done, because these are the viewpoints, right? These are the touch points that we normally come to. So there's the lake. How awesome does it look now it's finished? It just comes to life. When it was all a barren brown wasteland, it was quite something, but now it just looks like a proper full-on lake. It's exactly as I wanted the viewpoint. Like, I couldn't have even planned it better in my head. This is exactly what I had in my head. And then we come this way round to the playground, and then the meerkats you can't see. Of course you can't. So yeah, really pleased with this viewpoint. I just like how you can see the gardens and how they're so flat and just so, oh yes. And then we're gonna come, oh, I've done the extra bits, by the way, the statues that I'd missed. So here is, of course, the seals one. Similar principle to the other side, just the seals put down, just to represent the animals and everything that are around. And then over this way, how far is it? This way, isn't it? There we go. So over this way, I've done the peacock one as well, the peafowl. So there they are, just nice, sat there. I wanted 3 on the ground and then the 1 raised up. There's no significance to having 4 or having 1 raised up or anything. It is what it is. But I just wanted to include that. And now, if we come across to the other viewpoint that we've used quite a lot, and of course we're used to seeing this one, right? Where you look across to the pavilion and you look across to all of this side. You know, the flamingos and whatever. And now we can complete the view. So if we come this way, you can now see the gardens in the background, the reptile house, and everything is now finished. This is the view from the lake, and it's a beautiful day to look at this as well. Yes, it's just everything I wanted. And even the buoys, the buoys in the water actually look the part now, and it's a really calm lake. I really am pleased with how this looks. Like, I keep saying it, the game plays like trash, but it looks beautiful. You can't do this sort of I'm glad I chose this game for these views. You couldn't do this in Planet Coaster. You definitely couldn't. And so yes, this is the viewpoint. Okay, so let's take a look from the top. This is how it all looks from the top. As I said, I can't do anything with these areas even if I wanted to, so I've just left it as it is. So guys, the next episode we're going to go on a tour. We're going to start in the shopping village and we're going to go on the tour, so I'm hoping that you will join us for that. Thank you so much for getting to the end of this episode and of course this series. If you have liked it, then you know what to do. Leave a like and a comment. I really do appreciate everybody that's watched this series. I don't even know how popular it's going to be, by the way, because I've recorded all of these in advance, so this series could have completely tanked and I'm talking to myself, and that's absolutely fine because I like my own company. But guys, Planet Coaster stuff is going to be coming back very, very soon. I've got plans in the making for that, so please come back and check that out. And of course, I'll see you next week for the tour. So until we speak again, please look after yourselves. Take care now. Bye-bye.